Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are back again for another week of the Success Journey Show. Man, we have a great show planned for you today. I gave you guys a little sneak peek of this guest in our opening show, man, and we got him here with us today. But before I even get to that, I am Ricky Venters, your host with my co-host, Marlon Madden. What's good, Marlon? How you doing, bro?
I'm living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
There we go, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. What you been up to, bro?
Well, me, I'm just, work. Work. You really have to focus in at work. I can't get too much into it because, it's one of those top secret things.
Top secret.
Yeah. Top secret thing. Yeah.
You got to kill me if you tell me.
Yeah. G5, classified, whatever it is. But it's focusing at work and balancing life, man. Making sure I'm able to get my workout in, my sleep in, work, and also work at the same time. That's definitely my focus right now. How about you?
Nah, I'm good, bro. I am recovering from us balling. Not too long ago.
Okay.
And it's been a while since I've been on the court, but I've been working out. So
you look good out there, though.
Man. My body felt good. It felt good. I'm a little tired. My shoulder was kind of messed up.
Yeah, that one day up showed it.
But I walked away from the court, not feeling down. So that has been a long time since I did that. I got to tell you, man, I started playing ball on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
And they start at 9 o'clock at p.m. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm in bed at 9:30, man. I mean, 10 o'clock the latest. I'm out there playing on the basketball at 9 o'clock, and I get out
You're
there.
old, man.
Yeah. And I get out there and I see all these guys running around. He's like, no one under 18 can be in here. And I'm like, oh, cool. Let me some older guys and whatnot. Dude, tell me why I'm the oldest one on the court, man. And I'm only 35.
Oh, man.
So I'm sitting there like, man.
You're the OG. They call you OG.
OG. Yeah.
Pops,
Pops. Man. I was like, yo, since when did I turn over to Pops on the court, man?
Hey, it happens, man.
Oh, man.
You just got to embrace it.
Just embrace it. But anyways, man, let's get to it. Like I said, man, we have a special guest with us today. He has completed not one, not two, but 15 Spartan races, which includes 3 trifectas. So what does that mean? He's completed the sprint, which is 5 miles, the super, which is 8 miles, and the beast, which is around 13 miles of going up and down mountains, crawling through the mud, going down in water, climbing up ropes, doing all these different obstacles in rough terrain. And he has done it 15 times. Now, listen, remember, I told you I did it a couple months back and it took everything out of me, and he did it 15 times. He's also the associate director at Jagged One's Physical Therapy's Georgetown office located in Brooklyn, New York. Yes, you guessed it. He's a physical therapist. He has committed to help others get in shape, stay in shape, and understand the most effective way to prevent injuries. Everyone, I want to introduce to you my good friend, Dr. Sean Thomas. Sean, are you here with us?
I'm here, fellas. What's going on?
Oh, we're good, bro. We are good. We are good.
Happy to have you.
This is the guy that I was mentioning that was giving me my stretches during the Spartan race, stretching me out.
Hey, I want to thank you, Sean. I want to thank you for making this brother make it through. He was nervous, man.
You got to do it together, man. No man left behind.
I like that.
Indeed.
No man left behind.
So, Sean, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the show. Very blessed to be here.
No problem.
I haven't spoken to Marlon in years, so good to see him, talk to you.
Yeah,
I follow you on social media, by the way, just so you know. So
I follow you too, brother.
all the superstars you hang out with. I'm very, very envious of all of them. But yeah, that's my daughter in the background. That's
all right.
Yeah,
life happens.
So yeah, my name is Sean Thomas. Pleasure, and I'm very, very blessed to be on the show with you guys. I'm actually a physical therapist in Brooklyn, New York. I work for a company called Jag One Physical Therapy. It's a company that just merged together with Jag Physical Therapy and One-on-One Physical Therapy. So right now, we're one of the biggest PT companies that's in the New York area, New York City, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Westchester, Jersey. We're one of the biggest outpatient clinics that's now in New York with the merger. So very, very blessed to be one of the people who run one of the agencies, one of the organizations that's in Georgetown Mall in Brooklyn. And yeah, I'm just blessed. I'm blessed. It's been a great 7 years with the company.
Okay.
Excited to be with them moving forward. They're doing some great things in the community. So very, very excited to be with them.
Good stuff, man. Now you say physical therapist, man, and somebody cringe, like, man, like what did it take to get to that point, man? I know that right there is a journey within itself, man.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
So PT, there are a lot of like up and coming professions that are like one of the top 10 professions to kind of get into at this point in time. Things like nursing and, MDs and lawyers, they've always been the highly coveted, engineering, those are the things that you want to get into at an early stage because you're always going to have a job. You're always going to be very, very productive and bountiful. But professions like physical therapy and, physician assistants and those kind of things have in the last couple of years really become up and coming professions. So at this time, they're very hard to get into because everybody wants to get into them. You'll have a job wherever you go. The prices for the jobs, the pay for those jobs is continuing to increase because baby boomers are getting older, so they need care, they need physical therapy. And a lot of people who are going through.
Yep. Hey, trust me, I will claim it. I need physical therapy.
But yeah, it just become like such a growing phenomenon in terms of a profession that the amount of people who are applying to these programs is astronomical. So they're making these programs a lot harder to get into. If you're someone who's an undergrad, like I didn't know about physical therapy at all. I kind of was pre-med. Like I was kind of told to just, do pre-med because that was just what my parents said, go pre-med and you'll have more options. So I did that. And I thought about being a doctor, a medical doctor, and shadowing some doctors and just saw that, that wasn't really my path. I was going through the curriculum of pre-med classes and I was good until I got to organic chemistry. And then I think after that, I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
This might not be for me, Mom. Yeah. I'm not really sure anymore. Not getting past the class. I graduated, I applied some other programs like psychology programs, graduate school programs, nothing really fit. And I was like, man, this doesn't even seem right. Because, the dream is you go to school, you graduate, you go to grad school or whatever you're going to do and you keep moving forward. But I kind of came to a standstill. I had this degree from Brown University and, I should have gone somewhere in my mind. But I went home and I was home for about 2 years, 3 years. I worked as a substitute teacher. I taught dance classes to kids for a while.
We're going to get you on the dancing.
I applied to a job at Mount Sinai Hospital and I finally got it. And while at the job, my main job was to escort HIV infected and affected kids to their doctor's appointments, to support social workers who are working with kids who either had HIV or the parents had HIV. And, I had a chance to really learn about the healthcare profession and see if I really wanted to be an MD or not. And I realized that I didn't. I really wanted to do therapy. And I've been in therapy because I ran track in college. I had 2 knee surgeries in high school and college. And I remember therapy was really effective for me. So I had a chance to shadow the PTs who were at Mount Sinai and recognize, that's what I want to do. And I applied to NYU. I got into NYU and I was all set to go. I went to registration. The first day of registration, I walk into the class and I'm meeting all my soon-to-be fellow students. I met the director of the program. I sat down. I registered for classes all on the same day. And then the director of the program brought me aside, and she was like, "Yeah, so we're excited you're here. We're glad, to have you in our program. But there's a class on your application, your
transcript,
your transcript that it says it's an anatomy class, but we can't really accept it because it's like a animal anatomy class. We don't do an anatomy class." And I was like, "Wait a minute! I called you guys about this a long time ago, like 6 months ago when I was taking the class." And they said it was going to be a problem. Well, it's a problem now. So if you have a chance to take this class over in the next couple of weeks before classes really start, you can enroll with us. Otherwise, you have to take a year off and reapply.
The journey begins.
Wait a minute.
The journey begins.
What are you talking about? Reapply? I've already gone through all this, taking Physics 5 at City College and whatever I had to do just to kind of get to this point.
Yeah.
And then I'm here. I'm actually in graduate school program. I'm sitting with my soon-to-be fellow students. Classes really start next week, and you're telling me at this point, this class that I thought was going to count. I mean, you should have known this before I applied. When I was applying, just say, "Look, you don't have all the requirements done," but you're telling me now, if I'm sitting in front of you, either I find a new class or I have to wait another year. I got so frustrated. I literally I started arguing with the director of the program, and it was me, the director of the program, the bursar's office person was there, and I just got so frustrated. And they had just given me a going away party at my job. Yo, okay, we're gonna see you later. We're gonna see you. Hey, best of luck to you as you go on to your graduate studies. And I was like, cool. They brought me that coach bag and everything. And
Coach bag.
I walked out of there man, I'm so embarrassed. This is crazy. I have to go back to work tomorrow and be like, "Yeah, I'm actually not leaving."
Can I keep the coach?
Can we have the bag back?
The coach?
What are you talking about?
Can we have the bag back?
So, I kept the bag. I still have the bag. So went back to work, told them the whole story, and they were very okay, no problem, and they were like, "Cool, well, you have a job. Let's just keep grinding, keep grinding." So took another year, applied to SUNY Downstate and Hunter, and I got into Downstate. I went to Downstate for a year, and I was still kind of dancing at the time. I used to dance in a couple of different companies, and once I was in, I kind of got a little confident on myself. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in this program. I'm doing my thing. Things are, gelling." And I was cruising through the program. I was studying, but I wasn't studying as much as I probably should have been because I was like, "Oh, this stuff is, it's kind of easy. I got this. this. I'm in this program. I'm chilling. I can kind of take my foot off the pedal for a little bit and kind of cruise." And of all the classes in the first semester that got me, wasn't even the hardest ones. I got through anatomy. I got through all this stuff. It was this one credit class that met one time a week for 2 hours. Yeah. And it was all just slides. Pathology class. This class that is the easiest class in the world. And I literally bombed the first test. And I think I failed by maybe 4 or 5 points. And then the retake, or the final test, I also didn't get the highest grade I should have got. So I had to take a retake or an exam where it was an oral retake. It was me and one other person. So basically, you go into this classroom and they ask you questions about pathology stuff, about the brain, about precentral gyrus and postcentral gyrus, and anything like that is related to pathology. They can ask you Parkinson's. Anything, Guillain-Barré, anything that's neurological or anything, they just ask you about it, and you have to just talk about what you know. And literally, fellas, I walk into that room, confident as anything. I study. I was like, "Yeah, I got this, no problem." And there's a girl who was ahead of me. She came out. I said, "How'd it go?" She said, "It was kind of tough." I said, "Whatever, I got this." I walked in, and they asked me the first question. And I don't know if you've ever been in a car accident or just have not remembered anything. I was blank. I had no words. I felt like I was a 4-year-old child.
Did you start dancing?
But I didn't. I had no words. I was like, "Let me just second drive a little bit and see if that works." I had no words. The person asked me a question and I went blank. And they were like, just tell me something. Tell me anything. Tell me something. I was like, what's my name? Like, I don't even know. Like, I can't do nothing. It was the weirdest thing. And he gave me a look and he was like, I'm sorry. I have to fail you.
Thank you for listening to the Success Journey Show. Please follow us on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at The Success Journey Show. Also, check out our website at thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
So I went home, I went to my apartment, and my fiance at the time, who was now my wife, I told her about this, and she was like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I got to take a year off. I have to take a whole year off.
Wow.
And because the program works, the program moves forward. Like, you run with the program. So if you mess up a class or you miss something,
you got to wait.
The next year's class to continue with the program. So I went online, I looked up aid positions, like you can work as an aide, because I had learned enough stuff to, help out a PT in a facility. So I looked at some jobs on Craigslist. I found a job working as an aide, and I worked as an aide for a year at this place that's on the Upper East Side. And it took a whole year working at this job, and got back into the program the next year. And then after that point, I was on. Like, I was studying everything. Had to stop everything. I was in it. Like, friends had to go to the wayside, off of social media, off of everything, and just like focusing on this stuff. And then I ended up passing with 3 awards at graduation. I like the top of my class. We got the best research award at the end of the year. All this stuff. But I had to go through all of this like failure to recognize like how to really be as good as I needed to be. And when I graduated in 2011, I was just so thankful to be done with the program. And I thought my journey was over because, I thought the hard stuff was done.
Yeah.
But the last thing you have to do is take a board exam.
Oh, boy.
And like every program, there's like a board exam at the end or something you have to kind of take at the end and just say that you know everything.
Yeah.
And once again, I thought that I had already gone through my gauntlet of trials. So I took the tests. I actually took a job right after graduation. Graduation was in like May. I started working like June 1st. It's like 4 days off. And then you started working at a job where I was an aide, they hired me. So I was grateful to get a job. I was, let me start working. And I worked and studied that summer, took the board exam for the first time. Right before, we got married in September. I took the board exam. I'm a fool boy. I took the board exam literally 2 days after my wedding.
Oh my goodness.
We were going to Italy for our honeymoons. I said, let me get married. I'm going to take the board exam and we're out. And I took the exam. And I remember being in the exam like, I am so tired from the wedding. I don't know, but I might have fallen asleep. I don't even remember, to be honest.
I have to ask you a question, man. Did you start dancing there?
When I was like falling asleep, I said, let me dance for a little bit and just see if I can wake up. Took the exam, and you'll find your results for like a week. So we're in Italy.
The whole time you're thinking about your results.
I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, it's done. I'm done. Everything's done. Put the ring on it, done. Took the exam, done. We're in Italy now. We're chilling. We're done. And my wife was like, yo, just check online and see if you passed. A week later. Like, let me just check real quick. I checked that thing. Failed. I was like, oh, man.
I thought you were going to say pass.
Oh, no. Now we're in Italy, and it's like a weird, like, but let's go back and do this thing. And that began another journey of like trials where I had to take this test over and over again to pass it. Now, everyone takes this test maybe like once or twice. Because, once you kind of get the hang of it, you can kind of knock it out. But I was never really a great multiple choice test taker. And these kind of tests, it's not like the this is right, this is wrong. It's like a best answer.
Oh, wow.
Kind of a test. Yep. So everything can be right. It's what's the best answer of all the answers. And from 2011 till 2015, I took this test a total of 12 times. 12 times. 3 times a year.
I'm laughing with you, man.
4 years. No, I can laugh at it now. I was crying during the time. But for 4 years, I took the same test. And the test is different because like there are practice questions that are on there that they're on the next time, and they can ask you anything they want. But for 4 years, I took the same test over and over and over again. And it wasn't until I recognized like I had to really cut out a lot of other things. I had to really look at this from a different perspective. I had to really recognize that there were certain things I may have missed when I was studying. There were certain things I had to kind of know a little better. When I stopped studying the stuff that I knew and focused on what I didn't know. And I really just like took time and, people talk about, 10,000 hours or whatever else. But really took that time to put it into this thing that on the last chance that I really had an opportunity to take it, otherwise I would have had to, work somewhere else or get another profession. I took that test and I passed that test.
So what I'm getting from you, Sean, is that you on the show, we talk a lot about embracing the process.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting from you is that there was a process, you weren't embracing it, but once you embrace the process, it got you through multiple times. I can see that happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always been one who, I know what I'm good at. And if I'm good at something, it's comfortable for me. I can rock with it. But things that I'm not good at, it takes me a while to kind of adapt to doing what I have to do. And, everyone likes to study and do what they're good at. No one good at. If you go to the gym, everybody working on, pecs and biceps and whatever else stuff you can show. But the stuff that you need to work on, you don't really work on that kind of stuff.
Stop talking about me, man. Stop talking about me.
In the college stuff, you really have to work on. And I wasn't doing it. And I thought that I could just kind of coast through stuff. But that experience taught me a lot about my resilience and, the humility that it takes to get through a program, and just recognizing that even though you may be smart, it really doesn't, it's not just about smarts. It's really about putting in the work. And vice versa, you could put the work in, but not be the smartest person. If you put the work in, you're going to get results.
Wow. I love that.
Now, man, asking this question, I kind of know the answer you're going to pull out, but I just need to hear you say it. There's multiple times where you could have given up on this journey, on both multiple aspects of this journey, different phases, that would have seemed justified. And be like, all right, well, I didn't pass this class, or I didn't get into the program originally, so I guess it's not for me. Yeah, I get in and I bombed this one test. There's one class. I had to sit out for a year. I could have quit there. After the fifth time and you not passing the test, you could have been like, you know what? It's not for me. Yeah. But what was it, man, in you, man, that just never allowed yourself to quit on this journey?
So I just going through like undergrad and going through high school, you get a chance to really see what you want to do. And I never really felt connected to anything that I wanted to do until I recognized that, physical therapy was something I really could see myself doing. I could see myself being an MD. I could see myself doing anything else really besides this one thing. So once I found that, there was no real alternative for me. I knew I was going to have to do it by any means necessary. And, the way that I kind of was raised, whether it was like through athletics or whatever, it was just like, you're going to have good days and bad days. You're not going to win every single match or every single game, but you have to go out there and play like you're playing to win. You play in the win. And there's people can work harder than you. People can be stronger than you or whatever, but you should not ever try to let someone outwork you or outdo you.
Okay.
If you're letting that thing outwork you, then you're not working hard.
Hey, everyone. We hope you're enjoying today's show. We want to pause for a second and thank our sponsor for today, Anchor. Listen, have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. Like, how do you record an episode? Or how do you get this show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? The answer to every one of those questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free. Yes, 100% free. And so easy to use. If you always wanted to start a podcast and making money doing it, why don't you go to anchor.fm/start to join me and this diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Enough.
So I didn't
feel like I was working hard enough to the point where I could give up. If I could say I put my all in and it wasn't enough, that's one thing. But I never really felt like, everyone has a point where it's like, yeah, I'm trying my best. And you feel that way until you recognize, or someone shows you, look, did you do this? But have you tried this? And there was always someone who was like, even my wife gave me suggestions because, she's an attorney. She's passed 2 bars. She passed the Brooklyn bar, the New York bar, and the Massachusetts bar. And she is amazing at that. And she was like, yeah, until you really recognize that. Daddy's that. Yes, that is me. And that's me. That's us. She really showed me that happened. She was like, yo, until you recognize that you've dropped everything, like once you can say you've truly dropped everything and you've given something your all and then you fail, that's one thing. But if you're just giving, 50%, 75%, and you're trying to hold back, you think that there's something else on the other side, your friends are going to be there, your family's going to be there, everything else is going to be there. Cut everything out and just make this your priority. Until you do that, and you haven't really given yourself everything. You haven't really given it your all. And she kind of taught me that, I have to really just let everything go, even stuff I like to do, and just focus on this thing. And then after that, you can get back to doing whatever you want to do.
It's a wise woman right there.
Yep. Very wise. Hey, so what I'm gathering from a lot of what you're saying is that your upbringing helped foster your hard work ethic and also your vision of what success is, because you said that your mother wanted you to do the MD and then you had to redefine what success was to you, because just being a doctor, a MD wasn't what you saw in your future. You saw something else. So how did that process go through your head that you had to realign those goals and values?
I think that usually for the most part, parents do a good job of trying to instill in the kids certain things. At least they have options, like to give the kids more options so they can pick what they want to do. Yeah. And I think her recommendation for me to be an MD was her way of, just giving me the most amount of options that she thought that were possible. My grandma was a nurse. So, she recognized that, the healthcare field was something that was very, very stable. Okay. At her time. And it is nowadays too. But, recognizing that, for me, it's really about what I'm going to be doing every single day. A lot of kids or a lot of young people follow in their parents' footsteps and do what they want them to do. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's your life. It's what you're going to be doing every single day. They're not working, you're working. So if you can't see yourself doing something every single day, and I knew that whatever I did, I needed to feel like it was work, but it wasn't work. Like I didn't want to dread going to work. I didn't want to ever wake up and be like, oh, here we go again. I never, ever feel like, oh, I have to go to work. It's always like, I'm going to work. Yeah. Work for me is I want to say it's 24 hours, 7 days, because even when I'm not at work, I feel like I'm doing work. I'm answering people's questions. I'm helping people out, friends, family, whoever. And for me, it is work, clearly, because it's paperwork, and that's always annoying in any job. But the actual, the trade or the actual craft of what I do, I could do it all day, and I never feel like it's like, oh, take me off the clock. It's like, oh, I like helping people. I like educating people on how they can get better. I like showing people other ways that they can get to where they want to be. I like people moving. I like people being healthy, so that's how I want to live my life. So, and I knew that when it came to the medical field, at least the only thing that I had a chance to really observe and see, it wasn't where I wanted to be in the hospital. It wasn't where I wanted to be, with the coat on. I wanted that low key, everybody just come together and let's do stuff together and let me help you in my environment. Let me give you the one-on-one time that I can give you, as opposed to, 5-10 minutes here in and out, which is somehow or sometimes how the healthcare field can tend to be. And I love it. I would not trade anything else. Even like all the test failures and everything at the time, I know it was the worst thing in the world, but it just made me so much stronger. And when I share that story with other people, like all my aides and people who are trying to get into PT school now and they haven't gotten in yet, or they're trying to figure out, should I retake this class, or get my GPA higher. I'm like, look, if I can get through this thing, anybody can get through this thing. It's not even about like being smart or not. It's just about recognizing that if you want it, you have to go out and get it.
Got to go get it.
There's no handouts. There are no handouts. No matter what school you went to, who your mom and dad is, or who your mom and dad are, there are no handouts. So you have to just go out there and get it.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. And I tell you, listeners out there, Sean, man, truly embodies like this attitude and this mindset, man. And one thing I've noticed about Sean over the years is that when he goes through his journey, his first step is always to turn around, reach back, and bring someone along with
Amazing.
Him. You know what I'm saying? And that's rare with a lot of people, he finds joy and bringing people along. Like I want to talk about real quick is that, Sean just completed another milestone. And I don't even know if it's a milestone. I was like, it's a milestone over the last couple of weeks. It was a couple of weeks ago now. The marathon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congratulations, man. Completing your second marathon. But here's the thing, and I want you to talk about it real quick. But here's the thing. You ran it last year, right?
Yeah.
How many people in your circle ran it with you last year?
Just one,
right?
Yeah. And
then you ran it this year. And how many people ran it with you in your circle?
5.
5. 5. And they were all attest to say, they ran it because they were inspired by what Sean and his teammate did last year. But talk to us about that the marathon, man. Not too many people can say they have completed the New York City marathon.
The New York City Marathon is one of the most exciting races, I think, I've ever done. It's 50,000 people. And the energy from the city, a place that usually feels like it's everyone's on their own agenda and, people are just kind of pushing through and not really talking to anybody. It becomes this place where everyone is your cheerleader, especially this year because I wore my name on my shirt this year.
Okay.
So the amount of people who were like, Sean, let's go, Sean. You got this, Sean. Like the support from the city was incredible. It's incredible. People are giving out oranges on the sides. You're giving high fives to people you wouldn't even talk to or even be able to touch, really. Like there were people who, just based on religious issues and differences, they wouldn't even look at you or touch you or whatever. And at the marathon, everyone is just like, yo, all guards are down. We're here for one purpose. We're here to support each other. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what background you have. I'm supporting you. Let's get through this.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show. You can check us out on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Also on our website, thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Enjoy the rest of the show.
And it's all races, all colors, all genders from different countries. You hear people talking French and Spanish and, German. And when you get to the start of the race, there's different like a village, like an Olympic village. So there are different places you can go and there are people with the announcements in different languages because everyone is just there from all over the place. Because there's so much love for this one thing, this common goal, which is to go from 0 to 26.2 miles. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I trained for the year. I kind of like documented like my training for the year because I wanted to go under 4 hours because I ran 4:22 last year. And
you didn't beat Oprah. You didn't beat Oprah last year.
I didn't beat Oprah. No.
You didn't beat Oprah's time. Okay.
I didn't beat Oprah. No. I don't know where Oprah ran. I know I didn't beat what's his face. Kevin Hart. I was trying to go for his time and I missed it.
Hey, I looked at his time. Kevin Hart ran a good race.
He ran a good race. Yeah,
he did.
I'm mad about it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But this year I have these intentions to go sub 4 and I trained for it. But when I got to the race, and I've had a chance to think about it now, I recognized that I trained with these guys all year, my Spartan crew, my Spartan runners I ran with, and I held back. And I don't know if I held back because I miscalculated like what I should have been doing, but I held back because I was with them and I felt good being with them. And I knew what my goal was. Like I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew where I should have been at. But I felt like being with them, and at some point in time they faded off. But like for half the race we were together, and it just felt like the right thing to do. And I was able to finish. My wife finished. She didn't train as much as she wanted to, but she finished. And everybody finished in good standing, no injuries, and we're already talking about going to California or Chicago for our next one. So it's a thing that and anything, it could be anything from the marathon to a Spartan race or triathlons, whatever. Everybody does these things because it kind of breaks up the monotony of life, and it lets you know that you can do more than what you think you can do. And once you see yourself doing that, you just can't wait to do it again. And that's where I'm at now. I can't wait to do this thing again and really go for the sub 4.
Yeah. So I probably know you already answered the question, but I just want to bring it out to highlight it so people can understand. Do you have a mentor or coach, and are you a mentee? Do you have a mentee?
For life? For
the physical, for your PT, and also for the stuff that you're doing, like the races and all this kind of stuff, because that's a big deal. That lets somebody know that they could finish and accomplish something.
Yeah.
26.5. Not a lot of people do this.
Yeah.
So when they finish that, I know they feel the gratification after that.
Yeah. I don't really have a mentor. I have a lot of guys that I kind of talk to who either I used to run with in college, or they're guys who are in the physical therapy world and they read a lot of books on stuff. Like on running, and we kind of exchange notes and concepts and ideas. A lot of the stuff that I implement that I do with, I do like a Sunday workout every Sunday for this church in Brooklyn, and it's called Spartan Sundays. And basically, I'm like a coach for this church. So we come together, we work out every single Sunday. We put a curriculum together for what we're going to do for the year. And we kind of branch down into semesters, almost like school. And we set out a calendar of races, and we travel to these places and do races. And some of them are mud races, some of them are road races. And, it's like a whole year of us doing various things. And, wow. It's cool. And I guess I mentor them in that aspect, because I kind of set the agenda of what we're going to do. I set the workouts every single week. I set out what our goals are, where we're going to race, all those certain things. And we have people who help us, who are members of the group. We have a couple of doctors, a couple of other enthusiasts who kind of come in and they give their 2 cents and do presentations on nutrition and proper eating and proper shoes to wear and gear to wear. And, it's becomes it's almost like a village that we've created, where we bring in people to kind of fill in the gaps for things that I don't know. And we've been doing it for the past 6 years now. And I guess I can say I mentor them.
Yes.
And the people who mentored me, I would say were my coaches from high school and college, who kind of taught me about cross country and track, and everything they taught me. I remember it clearly, and I kind of regurgitate to my Spartans. They were the ones who really mentored me in terms of, how to run, what to do, form, diet, proper breathing techniques, all those kind of things. I remember all that kind of stuff because it was ingrained in me when I was in high school and in college. So I just regurgitate what they told me, and, running is running. Those kind of things, they're going to be foundationally, sound. They don't really ever change.
Okay.
So I'm just blessed to have had great coaches that kind of, put the foundation for me to recognize how to do certain things. And I've been blessed just to be physically still healthy enough to get them done. So.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. We always like to ask all of our guests this question. You see where you are now, and I know without a doubt, you're still pressing on your journey. You feel that you arrived. And you're always looking for that next thing, and enjoying the process as you're going along that. But if you could take yourself right now and then go back to when you were in high school, when you were making that decision to go to Brown University, what are some things that you would have told yourself those years ago?
I would have told myself to not feel like you have to do everything. I felt like when I was there, I felt like my dedication to everything was 100%. And I just kind of wanted to be good at doing everything all the time. And I think I was pretty good at like learning how to do a lot of things pretty well. But there are a couple of different foundational things that I probably missed out on. I wish I had traveled more in college, as opposed to being so connected towards my extracurriculars. I wish I had studied harder for certain classes and gotten my discipline in the classroom a little more sound. I think it developed more for me in grad school, but I could have developed it more in undergrad. And I recognize that more and more as I was taking my board exam, just recognizing that, for me, the ability to sit has always been hard. Just to sit. I'm such an active person. I don't want to be
happy feet.
But to really sit and put dedication and time into doing things that you're not good at. I didn't get the chance to really perfect that until my board exam. And I think if I had worked on that earlier, at an earlier point in my life, it would have probably been easier for me to get through the exam a little faster. I also probably would have done more in terms of just learning more about other professions. I knew I was so focused on being an MD that I took Orgo a couple of times, like just trying to get through it. And I think you had mentioned like, how do you know like when to stop doing something? Something? Yeah. For me, I had to kind of learn that, because if I had just given up on this PT thing like I did on Orgo, who knows what I'd be doing right now. But I knew for some reason, that the MD route was not for me. I recognized that. I prayed about it too, clearly, but I recognized that it wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. But I recognized the PT thing was for me, and I just had to really just stick with it. And recognizing the difference between the two is hard. Recognizing when a door is closed that it's closed versus when a door is closed that you have to find a window. It's a hard thing to recognize, especially if you're not accustomed to failure, if you're not accustomed to hardship, But, I think everybody's life kind of works in succession, that either things work in repetition or things kind of work in similarity. So, you have to kind of know what your life is like. You have to kind of know like what your life pattern is. And I do think that we go through patterns of similarity all the time. And for me, I just had to really recognize, is this a door that I need to go through, or is it a door that I need to like keep shut? Okay. And once I recognized that I had to go through it, I was like, ain't nothing going to stop me. So let's go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Hey man, I tell you, you dropped a lot of nuggets in this segment. I'm telling you, just listen to you talk, because I never knew about the failures. Because no lie, looking at you, I always not that it's a bad thing, but my preconceived notion of you was like, hey, Sean went and he just knocked it out, and now he's a physical therapist, and that's what he wanted. It was an easy street for him.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that for a long time, I felt really ashamed of like failing so much. So many people are given so many opportunities and they do really well. Yeah. And I was given so many opportunities and I didn't do so well. And I felt kind of like, man, if someone else had taken this, or, had gone to Brown or done whatever, they may have done a lot better than I did. Did I waste my opportunity? Did I waste my shot? All this stuff. And I said to myself, you know what? Don't hold back in terms of telling people what you didn't do good at. Like, don't lie to your aides and say, yeah, I took it 3 times. I could have done that, and I did for a while. People ask, how many times you take it? I took it 3 times, And it would always be different. Like, what? Like, I don't know.
I think they're 3.
Like, you know what? Like, who cares? Like, I'm the director of this clinic. I pass the board, and if you get a 75 or you get a 95, they still call you a doctor. So, who cares? Just tell people what happened. Just be honest. Because you never know, like who else is going through a similar situation. You never know who else is kind of struggling with stuff. Just be honest about it. And once I started being honest about it, I didn't have any more inhibitions, and people were like, "Yo, that's crazy." And it's the same kind of thing. I never knew that you struggle because, we put up these facades, even on social media, we always post what we're doing as great. No one ever posts their failures, You don't get likes for failures. So, no, you failed that. Good job. I just said, let's just be honest about stuff now. And I think it's always easier to do it when things work out in the end, clearly. But I do think that the honesty does help someone else who's trying to get to where you want to be, or even further than where you want to be better, and to be encouraged that, you know what, hey, it was hard for you, then it's hard for me right now. I can get through it too. So.
Okay. So your failures made you stronger then?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Sean, listen, man, we want to thank you so much for just joining us on this podcast and on this show. We want to give you an opportunity just to share with the listeners where they can reach you. What do you have going on? Where can they follow you on social media platforms, website, whatever it may be?
Right now, I'm trying to do a couple of different things. My main goal now, besides physical therapy, is that I want to. I'm branching out this company called Be More Today. The main purpose of it is just to kind of inspire people just to be the best version of themselves. And we're kind of doing it from like an athletic perspective right now, like, taking care of your body, doing races, challenging yourself. But it's starting to branch out to be more than that, just like being positive, being nice to people. Recognizing that family is important, like things that just are, that make life a little easier, and taking every day and not taking it for granted, basically Thanksgiving every single day.
Wow. Turkey.
Our social media platform right now is Be More Today. It's on Instagram, it's on Facebook. We're working on a book that's going to hopefully be out by sometime next year, which is really geared towards people who have a hard time with follow through.
Okay.
They have a hard time not just like starting something, but like seeing it to completion. And usually it's due in our research based on failure or fear of failure. So we're trying to kind of debunk some of those stereotypes people have about themselves and encourage people that they can just be awesome if they really just put themselves out there and give it a shot. So those are my projects for next year, and trying to run the marathon again for sure. We signed up for the Chicago Marathon, and we're doing a marathon in LA in a couple months. So
okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we got the bug now.
Oh wow,
man.
So it's happening.
Nah, love it. Well, Her World, you heard it, man. We brought to you Dr. Sean Thomas, man. I tell you, he's a brother, a friend of ours, and we just really want to get an opportunity for him to share just his journey with us. As you heard, with the highs, there have been many lows. But through it all, man, he kept pressing on. And that's the message that we're trying to get to you today, man. Just keep pressing on. Don't ever give up. I don't know where you are in your journey. And we asked that question, hey, what will you do? What will you tell your, teenage self? And we're not necessarily trying to reach out to teenagers or college students. But what we're saying is no matter where you are in your life, you can start applying these things. If you feel like you've been failing too much, you feel like you're not where you want to be in life, man, it's all about just starting to apply yourself. A dream, have that drive, have that determination, and just be diligent in applying yourself to what that dream is, and never give up until you realize that dream. So we are, like I said, if you want more information about this podcast, or if you want to follow Marlon or myself, look us up on Success Journey Show on Instagram, and also the Success Journey show.com, and just follow. You'll hear this podcast, other guests, other communities that we're building. And just remember, we're just here to help you to get to your destination. That's our show. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.
One love.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.